It's another Saturday night. You sit there lonely by yourself, using the excuse that you're doing monk mode, but in reality, you lack social connections or you're just straight up too anxious to meet new people and build proper relationships. Most people want to build successful relationships with a lot of people, and they don't. Most people want to achieve huge success in their lives, and they don't realize that developing people skills helps a lot with this, because it's not solely about what you know, it's who you know that's more important. So what's the trick to not being a socially anxious freak? And no, alcohol isn't a solution for your inability to talk to people. Anxiety is a natural response that our body has to protect ourselves from situations that may be deemed as a threat to our lives. But over the years we have adapted, and our anxiety isn't used as a survival tool to help us think ahead and prepare. We use it to live in fear instead, being constantly detached from the present moment. Anxiety usually comes from a few things: social isolation, negative past experiences, or a fear of the future. Accepting that you aren't going to be able to control everything in your life means you can come to terms with the situation in front of you. This is the best way to deal with your anxiety. So carry the mindset of we'll cross that bridge when it gets to it. You must understand that it's all in your head. For example, if you watch a scary movie, once the movie is finished, you might be a bit more on edge and feel anxious, but you realize that nothing in the real world has changed. Only your perception of reality has changed because you watched the movie that has made you more fearful and anxious. Since your anxiety is in your head, there's a few things you can do to reduce it and completely kill it. Doing what makes you uncomfortable is the first. I'm sure most of us have been in those situations when we have weird interactions with a girl. You stand there, you don't know what to say, and I know it's hard to think about because you cringe in your own head. But think about how much you actually learnt from the situation. Well, you're probably thinking, Jono, I didn't learn anything. Well, you actually did. You learned what not to do. You learned not to be weird because it repels people. Truth is, you won't grow if you never take big leaps and bounds and take large risks. We only have limited time on this earth, and you can either waste time doing things that distract you from your main goal in life or learn to take risks. So to keep growing as a person and to overcome your anxiety, do what makes you uncomfortable, because going out of your comfort zone is where you'll grow. The more you stay in your comfort zone, the less you'll grow. And the more you embrace what you're afraid of, the less things you'll be afraid of. And you'll get to the point where you'll do what you have to, even if you're anxious. For me, I was the most anxious in social situations. So for me to grow more, I put myself in more social situations like parties and places where I could meet new people. Now, going outside of your comfort zone is good, but without mindfulness, you'll still be in your head too much and you'll be too anxious still. Mindfulness is the best killer of anxiety. Being present in the moment, paying attention to your five senses, paying attention to what you can feel, smell, hear, see, and taste will be very beneficial, because you won't be paying attention to what makes you anxious because your attention is focused on being mindful. A big issue is most people try to anticipate the future based on the events that happened to them in their past. So they're not present, and this only raises anxiety. But it's hard for your mind to be full of anxiety-inducing thoughts when it's full of something else, and that something else is focusing on right now. This is why practices like prayer and meditation can help a lot, because you are practicing being mindful, being present, and enjoying the present moment for what it is, instead of being in your head and worrying about what is to come. The key is to remain focused on your breathing. So constantly focus on improving, and anxiety will become an afterthought. And if you want to watch more thought-provoking videos, subscribe.